Good. We got a lot to talk about today. Happy Super Bowl Sunday if you're in the States. I wanted to do a live stream before Super Bowl started. Okay, before you guys, start going out for Super Bowl Sunday or whether you're hosting it at home. But yeah, let me know where you guys are watching from. Today we're talking about the truth about fibroid elimination, the truth they don't tell you. Okay, we're going to talk about what actually works when it comes to getting rid of your fibroids and what doesn't work, okay? And what will leave you stuck and why you're stuck. Why you're stuck when it comes to getting rid of your fibroids, okay? So if you have fibroids, you're on the right live stream. Be sure to follow, okay? And also if you're watching from TikTok, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have the replay on YouTube. Hope everybody's doing good as you're coming in. Be sure to like the video, whether you're watching from YouTube. Hey, Marsh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Whether you're watching from YouTube, whether you're watching from TikTok, be sure to like the video so that we can get more women in here and more women can be aware of this because there's so many conversations going about online about fibroids, but I always say this. About 99% of the things I hear about fibroids online are completely wrong and they're leading you down the wrong path, okay? Take it from somebody, and I shared my story on here not too long ago, that eliminated a 8-centimeter fibroid and that has helped many women over the years shrink and eliminate their fibroids over the years, okay? So, and when I talk about women, I talk about women all over the world. All right, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to getting rid of fibroids. For those of you that are new, you're watching me for the first time, my name is Sasha. I'm a holistic womb specialist. What I do is I help women dissolve their fibroids. I help women shrink and dissolve their fibroids, reverse other reproductive health conditions such as endometriosis, adenomyosis, PCOS, ovarian cyst. Okay, I help put the power back into women's hands. And I do that by getting to the root cause of the problem. You cannot eliminate anything without getting to the root cause, without getting to the reason why you developed that issue. So that's what I help women do, and I put the power back into women's hands when it comes to their own health, when it comes to their well-being, because it's so important for you to understand that you have power over your health, okay? You cannot outsource your power, and I see a lot of women doing that, and that's actually leading them down a wrong path, right? Years and years of suffering because you've outsourced your power to this doctor who's not there to heal you, okay? So who actually can't tell you the root cause, who actually, again, can't help you heal your body. So that's the issue. Because when you have fibroids, ladies, like I always say, it's not just a uterine problem. It's a full body issue, okay? So if you're watching, be sure to click the thumbs up button. If you're watching me from YouTube, be sure to click the thumbs up button if you haven't already. If you're watching me from, thank you, Chantel, for liking the video. Let's like the video, hit the like button so we can get more women in here. We're talking about the truth about fibroid elimination, and I'm going to be answering you guys' questions, okay? So if you have fibroids, this is the live for you. You want to watch? I made sure I went live before Super Bowl, okay? For the Americans that are watching me. And let me know where you guys are watching from. I would love to know in the chat if you guys can let me know where y'all are watching from, okay? Because we think that this is just an issue that we deal with in America. And if you're watching this and you're a Black woman, a lot of Black women think that they're the only ones dealing with fibroids. And let me just tell you that is not true. As somebody that's been doing this and helping women get rid of their fibroids for years, it's not just Black women. There's women all over the world suffering from this. This is a worldly epidemic, okay? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You're watching from the Bahamas. Okay, hey, Chantel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Don't be shy. Everybody's shy in here. Let me know. YouTube, let me know where you guys are watching from. YouTube is always shy, okay? So let's get started on this live stream. So let's talk about, when it comes to fibroid elimination, we're going to first talk about what doesn't work. We're going to talk about what works towards the end. So you have to stay tuned. But we're going to talk about first what does not work. And a lot of you guys are spinning your wheels, constantly doing all of these things that doesn't get to the root cause of the problem, that's keeping you stuck. And it's important for you to understand and know that and why it's keeping you stuck, okay? So look, put a 1 in the chat if you've been trying to get rid of your fibroids. 1 in the chat if you've been trying to shrink your fibroids, get rid of your fibroids, okay? Or if you want to shrink or get rid of your fibroids, put a 1 in the chat. Nobody? Anybody? Nobody wants to shrink and get rid of their fibroids or at least has tried? Okay, okay. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get started. So when it comes to the truth about fibroids, we gotta iron out what does not work. Okay, that's first and foremost. So let's talk about surgery. Okay, and you're probably gonna be surprised if you are just following me and I say surgery doesn't work. You're gonna be surprised. When it comes to fibroids, surgery has can only take out the fibroid. But guess what? They grow back when you don't get to the root cause of the problem. You haven't done your pelvic exam as of yet. Okay, no problem. So you're just listening to learn. That's cool. Okay. So when it comes to surgery, for getting rid of fibroids, it's not a long. Here's the thing: it can actually do more harm than good. And I'm going to tell you this because this is what your doctor is not going to tell you, because it can also cause uterine scarring and cause issues later on, adhesions. They don't tell you that, right? But the surgery does not get rid of the root causes of fibroids. So if you have surgery, you're still estrogen dominance. Your hormones are still out of balance, right? You're still suffering with, you're still dealing with organs, your liver, your gut that are overloaded and backed up, your lymphatic system. You haven't got to the root of the issue. So this is why your fibroids grow back after having surgery. So this is why they return after having surgery. And I talk about the fibroid to hysterectomy. There's a pipeline too, because again, when you have fibroids and you've had all these surgeries, you've had this surgery, you're having a surgery every couple of years, which is some women, that's their reality, right? Eventually you get tired and just have a hysterectomy. Eventually you get tired. I know a woman that had 5 surgeries to get rid of fibroids, 5 myomectomies, 5. There's a woman that's had 2, 3. This is more common than you think, okay? And these myomectomies, these surgeries do not get to the root cause of the problem. I don't care if it's the myomectomy or the UFE procedure or whatever procedure is out there. They're not getting to the root cause of the problem, and that's why you're redeveloping these fibroids. Therefore, they're not solutions to get rid of fibroids. They don't get to the root cause of the problem. It's important for us to up-level how we think about our health. You gotta up-level how you treat your body and how you treat your health. What does that mean? That means that when we're addressing a problem, if we grew a whole entire tumor, right, which is a serious, if you grow a tumor, because this is a tumor here, right, then we have to find out why. We have to find out, okay, number one, why did my body grow this tumor? How do I get to the root cause of the problem so that it doesn't regrow again? How do I actually treat? Not only do I take care of the problem, but clean up the environment in my body so that my body is not, does not develop another health issue. Because you guys think it's just fibroids that, when you develop a fibroid, that's all you have to worry about. No. Fibroids, again, women that have fibroids tend to develop other health issues as well because your body's in a compromised state. So it's important that you know and understand that, okay? Are you guys following me? Hopefully you guys are, okay? So what else is not a solution for fibroids? What else does not work to get rid of your fibroids? And this one should be, everybody should know this one, but it still shocks me the amount of women that's still on this stuff, and that's birth control. Thank you, Chantel. Yes, Marsh. Thank you, Marsh. Please like and subscribe and share, okay? Hope that you're doing good. Hey, Marsh. Birth control is not a solution to get rid of your fibroids. Let me say that again. It's not a solution to deal with your symptoms either. If you are on birth control at all, get off of it. It's so toxic. Don't get me started. You got off birth control, good. It does not, and a lot of doctors will put you on this stuff, especially if you're dealing with heavy bleeding, you're dealing with these symptoms of fibroids. I know that they can be exhausting. I know that it's a lot, but you're doing more harm than good on the back end with the birth control because, again, your hormones are already out of balance when you have fibroids. And then you add birth control on top of that, oh my gosh. That's literally suppressing your own natural hormones and infusing your body with synthetic hormones. I just literally shared a post where a woman got a brain tumor due to birth control. It's not worth it. Get off the birth control. If you're on the birth control, it is not a solution for fibroids. It does more harm than good. As a matter of fact, the birth control will grow your fibroids even more. And some of you guys may have experienced that, okay? So that's not a cure for fibroids. That's not a cure. Then let's talk about these supplements, okay? Let's talk about these, exactly, Ness, yes. Let's talk about these supplements. This one is, okay. So when women have fibroids, right, and they are on the journey to get rid of them naturally, I see a common trend. Buying all of these supplements. I'm not saying don't get supplements, right? Now I'm about herbs over supplements, but here's the thing. A lot of times we think the supplements will do the work for us. It's not going to. I'm telling you that right now. And let me tell you something too. The reason why you're deficient in a particular mineral or vitamin, because your body is not able to absorb it. That's because the gut is overloaded, right? The body's overloaded. So when we have fibroids, our body is keeping waste in instead of actually dispelling waste. And that's going to affect your ability to be able to absorb the vitamins and minerals more effectively. So you're doing it backwards. So you get all these supplements when you have fibroids, when you have all these deficiencies, and you thinking that the supplements will help. No. At the very least, you may feel a little better for a little bit, and that's it. And then the symptoms will come right back, right? So supplements are not the answer. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take supplements, but I'm saying that that's not, like, when you have fibroids and you start buying all of these supplements. I see it all the time, like women buying all, like, this whole big thing. No, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Now, if you want to take an herbal supplement in conjunction to actually doing the work and healing and getting to the root cause of the problem, sure. But taking all these supplements when your body can't even process them properly, it doesn't make any sense, okay? So be sure to, and I know that we live in a world that's obsessed with supplements, and that does not understand that supplements mean supplementation, and it's not, so a lot of us eat bad diets, deficient diets, and think that the supplements will fix all of that, and that's not true. That's not true, right? Try to get a lot of your nutrients most of your nutrients from the food that you eat. Supplements are just supplementation. That's it. They're not going to do all the work for you. They're not. I'm sorry. I don't care what the person said that on TikTok or on YouTube, right? No. You get sucked in, and then all of a sudden you have 13 supplements and you still have the fibroids. Like, no. You have to get your body to the point where it can absorb the supplements, right? That's important. And the same thing with these cleanses and detoxes. I'm not saying not to do a cleanse or detox, right? Detoxes are great, cleanses are great, right? But then a lot of you guys are doing that and you go back to your old habits. So then what good is that? What good is that, right? So these alone can't heal you by itself, because eventually you're going to get off the detox. Eventually you're going to get off the cleanse. And then what? Right? It gives you temporary relief. It's good temporarily, but again, the symptoms and the thing, it will come right back once you go back to your old diet, your old ways, your old lifestyle, right? So it's a lot deeper than that. A lot of times we think too surface level when it comes to our health. We think too temporary when it comes to our health, and that's a problem. Another thing too is only focusing on estrogen. And this one I talk about all the time. So when women find out they have fibroids and they start researching, the only hormone they will see is estrogen. Estrogen, estrogen, estrogen. I'm just like, focusing only on estrogen is not enough. Fibroids are more than just estrogen. Remember, you have a series of hormones. And if you're dealing with fibroids, it's not just estrogen that is out of balance. It's not just estrogen. It's not just the sex hormones that you got to worry about. Before the sex hormones can become out of balance, you got to look at the foundational hormones that cause the sex hormones to become out of balance, right? So if you're just focusing on, if you're taking a supplement just to lower estrogen, or focusing only on estrogen, or you're taking, for example, hormones that's focused only on estrogen, you're going to have an issue. You're not looking at, so you're just going to be chasing your symptoms, and you're never going to be getting to the root cause of the problem. So you got to get to the root of why your hormones become out of balance, and it's not just estrogen. Okay, and I talk about the hormone hierarchy all the time. All the time. If you watch my live streams, if you watch my videos, literally all the time. So it's not just estrogen. No, it's what are the foundational hormones that cause the sex hormones to become out of balance? That's important. Okay? So if the sex hormones are out of balance, we got to first work with the cortisol and the insulin. We have to focus on those because they cause the sex hormones to become out of balance, right? And you can't just go straight to estrogen and think that okay, you could take a pill to lower your estrogen and the fibroids will go away and you're going to balance your hormones. That's not how it works. I'm sorry, it's not that easy. If it was, all these women wouldn't be dealing with fibroids. If it was that easy, not all of these women would not be dealing with fibroids, okay? So again, we have to think more. We have to stop thinking so linear when it comes to our health. Start thinking deeper when it comes to your health. Start looking beneath the surface. Stop thinking surface level when it comes to your health. You did not just wake up with fibroids. And no, it's not just, you didn't get fibroids just because they're genetic. They were the lifestyle and the diet and the ways that you took on that led to fibroids. There has to be a series of things that before you actually end up with fibroids. It does not just come out of the blue. Okay? So, hey, Crystal. So, also too, let's talk about a lot of people, put a 1 in the chat if this is you. And also on YouTube as well. Put a 1 in the chat if this happened to you. So a lot of women, when they first found out they have fibroids, and I told you guys my fibroid story the last video. If you haven't watched it, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not already on TikTok, watch the story of how I eliminated an 8-centimeter fibroid. You can watch that after this, okay? It's in the live stream section of my videos. The link is in my bio. But I talked about how my doctor first told me to watch and wait. Oh, let's just monitor it. And put a 1 in the chat if this happened to you. When you first got diagnosed with fibroids, did your doctor tell you just, hey, we'll just monitor it, just leave it alone for now, we'll just watch and wait? Put a 1 in the chat if that happened to you, because that happened to me. Okay? And fibroids do not shrink on their own. Let me just tell you this. Fibroids do not shrink. Okay, so that happened. It's not just me. Okay. Crystal, what happened to you, Miss Chantel? Thank you, guys, ladies. So they don't shrink on their own. So what they're going to do, they're going to grow. They're going to grow. And what eventually happened, they grew. They started giving me more. They started giving me more issues. I started experiencing more symptoms, worse symptoms. And then once you start, it gets to a point where you can't take it anymore. Then they're introducing surgery. That's all by design, by the way. That's all by design, by the way. Okay. So you have to understand that, listen, fibroids, they don't go away on their own. You have to get to the root cause of the problem. Why did your body develop the fibroid? It's important for you to understand and know that. Your fibroid, it did not just come out of nowhere, right? So if you have fibroids, your hormones have to be out of balance, right? Your liver has to be overloaded. It's not processing waste and toxins the way it's supposed to. Your lymphatic system has to be congested. It's a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue. It's a lot that has to go on before the fibroid can even develop. So a doctor telling you to watch and wait is actually setting you up in the future. So if you have fibroids, you don't want to just watch and wait and monitor it. You actually want to get to the root cause of the problem and start treating the root cause of the problem, right? So that they don't continue to grow and cause more issues. Even if they're not causing issues now, it can very well be in the future. And why would you want to settle for just leaving like having fibroids? You deserve better than that. Yeah, watching and monitoring your fibroids don't shrink. They grow like crazy. Absolutely, they sure do. They sure do, because you're still engaging in the things that cause them to develop. You're still engaging in the same lifestyle, the same diet. You're still living it. Like, it doesn't make any sense for you to just watch and wait. So that technique is, and don't get me started on the ones that say, oh, fibroids will disappear magically after menopause. That's a lie. As a matter of fact, there's a growing number of women, and we don't even have 1,000 likes on TikTok. What's going on? Can we get at least 1,000 likes? And I think Chantel was liking that first. Thank you, Chantel. Can we get some likes? Because this is stuff that your doctor's not even telling you. Okay, come on, TikTok. Can we get? Really, the goal should be 10,000, but you know, we don't even have 1,000 on TikTok. I don't know what's going on TikTok. They sleep? Are y'all asleep? Thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much. So it's important. Thank you, Chantel. It's important that you understand that. Listen, you cannot, like I said, fibroids don't go away on their own. They're not going to shrink in menopause. As a matter of fact, there's a growing number of women being diagnosed with fibroids post-menopause. Do you know that? Do you know that there's a growing number of women that are being diagnosed with fibroids after menopause? Right? So it has nothing to do. You can get fibroids at 60. There's women that has fibroids at 60 and even 70. Yeah. There's a woman there was a woman that was 76 that was on one of my live streams that had a fibroids. And that's not unheard of. That happens. So if you think that you could just wait to suffer all the way till menopause and it will go away magically, it's not gonna happen. This is a problem that you gotta get ahead of. You can't just ignore it and think it's gonna go away. It's not. It's gonna get worse. It's going to get worse. I'm telling you not what I think, what I know, what I've actually experienced, and what I've seen many women experience as well. So you have to understand that you have to get to the root. You can't ignore this problem. It's gonna be there. You can't go to sleep and pray it away. It's gonna be there. I'm sorry. That's gonna hurt some people's feelings, but it's the truth. You can't just pray it away. You have to deal with this problem. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it, okay? So if any of these solutions that I was just talking about worked long term, you wouldn't still have the fibroids. Surgery doesn't work long term because they grow right back. UFE doesn't work long term because they grow right back. These cleanses and these detoxes y'all been steadily doing, you still have the fibroids. What does that mean? That means that you're not getting to the root cause of the problem. Hey, I had a myomectomy 2 months post-op, healing well. What can I do to prepare my body to conceive? So here's the thing. Before you even, thank you for the question, Pashai. Before you even prepare your body to conceive, what I want you to do is to get to the root cause of why you developed the fibroid. Because if you had a myomectomy, you still have what caused the fibroids there. So what you want to do is you want to start healing your hormones. You want to get to the root cause of the problem. You want to change your entire diet and lifestyle. You want to get to the root of why your body developed fibroids. You want to, again, support your lymphatic system, the gut, the liver, the kidneys. You didn't just grow fibroids out of nowhere before you even get pregnant. Because again, if not, we're setting ourselves up for an experience. Like I'm just saying, because a lot of people go into pregnancy unhealthy. And I always tell women, take time to heal your body take time to heal your body. Take time to shrink and dissolve your fibroids. Take time to prepare your body and then get pregnant, right? It's not about just, getting pregnant. First, make sure that you're at your optimum level of health, okay? Make sure, and if you just had surgery, you're not at your optimum level of health because you did not address the root cause. So I hope that answered your question, Pashai, okay? And anybody else that had surgery, you still have the root cause there. You can grow the fibroids back while you're pregnant, and that would be even worse experience. Don't let these doctors trick you into this, just have the surgery to have a baby. No. But you still have the toxicity in your body that caused the fibroids to develop, okay? Thank you, it did. You're welcome. Okay, so why are most women stuck when it comes to their fibroids? Let's talk about it. Because you're treating the symptoms instead of actually the root causes. You're treating the symptoms. So you're worried about the symptoms, right? The symptoms being, for example, the heavy bleeding, the cramps, and you drink a little tea and that goes away for a little bit, and you think that I'm treating my fibroids. No, you're not. You're still you're still treating the symptoms. You're not getting to the root cause of the problem. Or, a lot of people are worried about the symptoms because the symptoms once the symptoms get bad, you start experiencing them and feeling them every single day. It becomes desperation to get rid of these symptoms. And I get it. But when you're actually getting to the root cause of the problem, the symptoms go away. You do know that, right? The symptoms go away. You do know that, right? So the goal should be getting to the root and not just focusing on the symptoms. Thank you for the heart. Thank you, Pashai. It should be getting to the root cause and not just focusing on the symptoms. It can be very tempting because we're taught in, Western society to just focus. There's no concept of actually why this problem appeared. Why did these fibroids appear? People don't have any concept of that. And they just worry about, oh my God, it's here. I have to get rid of it. Okay, you have to get rid of it. But this is why you have to address why it actually developed. Because if not, you'll get other health issues. Or you'll just grow the fibroid right back. Right? So you have to, like I said, we have to have better standards when it comes to our health. If not, we're going to continuously be on this hamster wheel for the rest of our lives, just treating symptoms. This is why you see women, they go from fibroids to horrible perimenopause to horrible time in menopause to all of these health conditions. You don't want that to be you because they never treated the root cause. And it's like, damn, can they catch a break? No, because they never treated the root cause. It's always, let's just do a little something or a little cleanse until the symptoms come back again. Stop living that. That's not a life you want to live. That's not a life you want to live. You actually want to get to the root cause. You actually want to get rid of the problem. I've been fibroid free for almost 15 years. Almost 15. If you heard my story at last, and if you didn't, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, click the link in my bio and subscribe, because I told you guys about my story last time about how I eliminated an 8-centimeter fibroid. Okay, this is so informative. My doctor said it's genetic, so I don't know. And I'm happy you said that, because I was saying earlier how that answer, they told me the same thing. Oh, it's genetic. That answer, I want you guys to throw it in the trash can. Actually, throw it in the toilet and flush it down the toilet, because that's not a sufficient enough answer. That's not a sufficient enough answer. Okay, and I'm gonna explain why real quick. Hold on. How long are the typical time frames you see them shrink with your you see them shrink with your clients? It depends on the person. Some people, I had a client get rid of a 6-centimeter fibroid literally in 3 months. I had a client get rid of a 4-centimeter fibroid in a couple months. I had a client shrink her fibroids from 7 centimeters to 3 centimeters in 2 months of working with me. And by now, that's probably gone by now, because she checked, what was that, in May? Last May, I had a client who had large fibroids. She had a huge fibroid belly, and her uterus was so enlarged, she was actually able to almost completely dissolve her fibroid belly within a month. So we've had so many testimonials. It just depends on the person. If you come in and do, but I want you to know the work works. You got to come in and do the work. And if you come in tiptoeing, doing just a little bit here, a little bit there, change it, you're not going to really, you're going to experience benefits, but it's not going to come, it's going to take time. But if you go all in, you'll experience the benefits, you'll experience your symptoms, you getting rid of your symptoms a lot faster, and also getting rid of the fibroid a lot faster, shrinking the fibroid and dissolving the fibroid a lot faster. And let me just say this, it's not about just shrinking your fibroids. We want to get rid of them. We want to get rid of them. We don't just want to shrink our fibroids. We want to be done with them. Okay? I don't know about you guys, but fibroids should not be a constant theme in your life. Once we're done, we should be done. Okay, and somebody asked me another question. Hold on. Okay, so let me talk about the genetic claim. Okay, can you be more predisposed to fibroids? Absolutely, yes. Some of you guys have fibroids. Your mom had fibroids. Your auntie had fibroids. Your niece had fibroids. Your grandma had fibroids. Yes, you could be more predisposed to fibroids. But here's the thing. It takes one person to break that generational curse. Number one. Number two, you have the same lifestyle and habits as your family members. A lot of you guys, the same bad habits your mama have, the same bad habits your auntie has, the same bad habits your cousin. You guys have the same bad eating habits, the same bad lifestyle habits. Of course, it's going to seem as though it runs in the family, because it's the habits. You guys have to look at the trend. Look at the trend of the habits. Don't just look at, if everybody has trauma in the family, we have ancestral trauma. Of course, people are going to, of course, right? So you have to think about that. And you can't just settle for it's genetic and there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to fold my hands. It's genetic. Stop. Like when doctors give you that answer, like I said, put it in the toilet, flush it down. That's not sufficient enough. That's not a sufficient enough answer of why your body developed fibroids. No, because there were habits, there was a lifestyle that you had to live in order to develop fibroids. It's not just, we can't just, it's like high blood pressure. High blood pressure runs on both sides of my family, rampantly. Both sides. At one point, my blood pressure was a little bit high when I had fibroids, when I was in bad health, when I wasn't taking care of myself. Of course, my blood pressure was a little bit high. But guess what? It's been perfect ever since, because I take care of my health, right? So I can't just fold my hands and say, oh, well, it's genetic, nothing I can do. No, because I don't follow the same habits as some of my family members, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. I just stumbled on your live. I need help on how to get rid of them. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. We're talking about that today. So we're talking about the truth about fibroid elimination today. And we wonder why there's an increasing rate of breast cancer right now. Yeah. Hormonal imbalance, ladies. Listen, I've been telling you guys the fibroids to cancer pipeline is real. If your body can develop a tumor in the uterus, you can develop a tumor anywhere. Okay? Unless you have to get to the root cause of the problem. So if you have to understand that we have estrogen receptors in our uterus and in our breasts. If you can develop a tumor one place, you can develop a tumor another place. This is why a lot of women if you talk to women that dealt with estrogen dominant cancers like breast cancer, uterine cancer, endometrial cancer, ovarian cancer, they once dealt with fibroids, cysts, heavy bleeding, one of these estrogen dominant conditions. one of these womb issues. Okay? So there's that. The pipeline is very real. Estrogen dominance is very real, and it's reversible. It's reversible. Okay? I just stumbled on your life. I need help. Okay, you're in the right place. I had to change my lifestyle. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to change everything. It's been hard but worth it. Yeah, it's hard, but it's worth. Trust me, it is hard. When you've had the same lifestyle for all your life, the same horrible diet, it is hard. I went through it, but it's worth it. The freedom you experience. Because fibroids is not free. I don't care how great your life is. You successful, you have a great job, you got money flowing in, you have a great or a great business, or you have a great family life or a great social life. Fibroids is like having shackles. You're not really free. You're not really free. Those things will grow and take over your body. I'm telling you. And you will start planning your life around the fibroid. You'll start planning your life around. So, and when I say that, I mean, you'll start planning your life around, okay, I can't go on vacation because I'm bleeding. My period is coming and it's so bad. I bleed so much. I have to be stuck in the house when I have my period because it gets so bad because of this damn fibroid, or I'm anemic. I can't do this. Like it will take over your life. And you before you know it, you start to normalize, making a decision, making a whole life around your fibroids. Instead of you actually living your life, your life revolves around your fibroids. That is hell. I've been through that. That's hell. You don't want to go through years and years and years and years like that. You're wasting your life. Like it's no. I was talking about earlier how for those of you that have been following me, I lived out of the country for a little bit. For a few months. I could never have done that if I had fibroids. I wouldn't feel safe enough to do that. I wouldn't feel confident enough to do that if I had fibroids. Because with fibroids and you're bleeding persistent, like you're bleeding so much on your cycle and you have all this pain, you don't feel safe being out there in the world. Like you don't feel safe being out there in the world. And if you have fibroids, you know what I'm talking about, right? So that's another thing, okay? So here's the thing. The reason, so you have to stop treating just the root cause. You have to stop treating the symptoms. You have to start treating the root causes. You have to start thinking deeper about why your body was able to develop a fibroid. You have to start also too addressing your hormones. If you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance. If you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance, and not just estrogen. Not just estrogen, because y'all just so focused on only estrogen. No, there's a series of hormones that are out of balance when you have fibroids. Okay? Another thing too, when you have fibroids, it's a full body issue. And I'm going to keep saying that. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's the truth. It's a full body issue. The liver, the gut, your nervous system, the kidneys, your body's keeping waste in instead of dispelling waste. So it's a full body issue. The lymphatic system is congested. So it's not about just, like I said, getting rid of the fibroid. You have to heal your body. You got to support your body in order to heal. It's not just about it's not just about the fibroid in the uterus. No. It's the entire body that actually, the condition in your body to actually allow for this to happen. Okay? So that's important. Another thing too, if you live in chronic stress, you can forget it. If you live in chronic stress and you holding on to trauma, your body's not going to heal. If your body is in survival mode, it can't heal like that. It can't. So you got to get your body you got to get yourself mentally or physically out of survival mode. Okay. And survival mode is not just about money. It could be about you holding on to trauma. You're not feeling safe, right? Your nervous system being dysregulated. You being under tons of stress. You cannot, like I said, you have to adjust your life in a way where healing is possible. You have to regulate your nervous system. I know that people say that all the time and that's kind of cliche, but it's the truth, right? So you have to start changing your life in a way that's actually going to help heal you. And this is what I'm teaching in my 5-day live course, by the way. The Fix Fibroids in 2026 for women that actually want to become fibroid free in 2026. I'm teaching you for 5 entire days how to do it, how to be free of fibroids, okay? We're going to be talking about healing your hormones, how to heal your hormones. We're going to be talking about how to eat a diet that's going to actually help you get rid of fibroids. Some of you guys think that it's just about getting rid of meat. No, it's deeper than that. That's not it. So we're going to talk about that and what you actually need to get rid of in your diet. That's actually feeding your fibroids, right? We're going to talk about the emotional and the energetic connection when it comes to fibroids. Also, too, you have to release a lot of, like when you're dealing with fibroids, we're holding on to a lot of the stuff emotionally and energetically. You might not be consciously aware of that because I was that person too. Like I was like, oh, I'm not holding on to any trauma, but I was. But I really was, because some of us are so used to living in trauma that we don't understand the difference. I was. Okay, so a lot of you guys are holding on to trauma from your past relationships, from your, from your childhood. This person did you wrong, that person did you wrong, from even sexual trauma. It could be from abortions, it could be from miscarriages. A lot of people are holding on to some form of trauma. Okay, because fibroids, again, we're not just physical beings, we're also energetic beings. And fibroids is not just physical. No. It's also emotional. It's also spiritual. Okay? So we're going to talk about all of that and how to also to release this stuff, how to work through this stuff, bring it up to the surface and process it and release it. The things that you've been suppressing for many years is actually keeping you sick. Okay? So we're going to talk about that in the 5-day life course as well. Now, and we're also going to talk about the full roadmap, the full steps, everything you need to know about how to get rid of your fibroids. So if you are interested in joining, it's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be from February 23rd through February 27th, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody that comes will also get the replays in case you can't be there every single night. So if you have not registered, you might want to go ahead and register. Okay, it's in 2 weeks. We start in 2 weeks, and I'm so excited about it. Everything you need to know is only $297. Everything you need to know about how to get rid of fibroids is there. Okay, we teaching it. Zoom, replays, all of that. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as you have a computer and you have access to it. Okay, so the link is in my bio for more information. Fix Fibroids in 2026, our 5-day life course. If you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my bio for more information. Fix Fibroids in 2026, 5-day life course. All right. So we talked about diet and lifestyle. You have to change your diet and lifestyle. That's a must. I mean, if you're not ready to do that, then you're ready to just you cannot have the same diet and lifestyle that you had when you even mindset. It can't be the same. We can't be living the same way you did when you developed fibroids. A change has to happen. So those of you that are stuck in your comfort zones and don't want to change, you're going to have a hard time. I'm sorry. Your comfort zone is killing you. Okay? You're going to have to get out of that. You have to. It's going to be hard. Yes, but you have to start being okay with doing hard things, especially if it's going to give you a huge reward at the end. You have to start training your brain, training yourself to be okay with doing hard things. Okay? So there's that. Now, and a lot of us can do that in every other area of our lives, but when it comes to our health, I don't know why there's such a struggle. You can do that for your career, you can do that for everything else, you can do that for your children, you can do that for everybody else. But when it comes to yourself, it's hard for you to sacrifice for yourself, and you have to be okay with that. You have to train your brain to be okay with that. Okay. So another thing too, we're talking about what keeps you stuck. Ignoring the emotional connection when it comes to fibroids. I was talking about that earlier. That it's not just physical. Fibroids are not just physical. They're also emotional. You're also holding on to a lot of stuff energetically. There's also things that we have to address, emotions that we have to address, right? So think about the fibroids as, how can I say this? As unheard and unspoken parts of you. Okay? Unheard and unspoken. I know that's some people, that's going to be too deep for some people, but it's the truth. Unheard and unspoken. The things that you've buried, the things that you've hid, the things that you suppressed, those are the fibroids. Okay? So then what does that mean? We have to start addressing those things. We have to just pulling those things out of the dark. Okay? So this whole mask that you're putting on for society, we have to start, like I said, taking that off. Okay? Taking that off. And actually, when you're healing your womb, it's deeper than just getting rid of fibroids. It's almost like a return back to self and who you really are and what you really want and your real needs. Instead of you just operating in this world mindlessly and just, you're just here you're not really living, you're just existing. No. Right? And a lot of times fibroids come about because there's a deep unfulfillment and deep unhappiness somewhere, somehow. It could be in your career, it could be in your relationships. There's somehow inadequate, feeling inadequate. It's deep seated. Okay, so I think ladies don't want to do it because it's hard and they want easy. Yeah, and I don't want to say everybody. Some people are ready to do the hard work, right? So like my clients. Some people are ready, people that buy my courses. I can't say it's everybody, but there are a lot of women out there that don't. They just want a supplement. Hey, I want a drink that can get rid of fibroids. I want a tea that can get rid of fibroids. I want a supplement. That's what they don't. They still have the fibroids. So there has to be, sometimes people have to go down that route and get tired, and then they get their mind right. They get their mind right and say, okay, I'm ready to do the real work now. I'm ready to do the real work now. Okay, so a lot of you guys are not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because you don't really have the full picture of why the fibroids develop. You don't understand the root causes. You don't understand how to heal your hormones. You don't understand what's going on in your body when you have fibroids. You have to understand the full scope of what's really going on. You can't just look at this surface level. You've been looking at this surface level for too long. This is why you're in the same boat. Okay? So, another thing too is, I'm gonna be honest with you, what's keeping you stuck is trying to piece together information on social media. A lot of women that have fibroids do this. You've tried everything they talked about on social media, the teas, the cleanses, like from the Facebooks to the TikToks to the Facebook groups to the YouTubes, right? You've followed everybody that talks about fibroids. You've tried it all, and there's no structure, there's no plan, there's no getting to the root cause of the problem. You're just treating things. Thank you so much for the heart, Fifi. You're just looking at things surface level. You don't understand what's really going on with your body. You have to stop doing that too. You're just confusing yourself and frustrating. This is why people will come to me and say, well, I've tried everything and it didn't work. And I'm like, what did you try? And it's a whole bunch of just random stuff. None of it is getting to the root cause of the problem. None of it is sufficient enough. Especially y'all that have bigger fibroids. If you have more than a 5 centimeter fibroid, if you have more than one fibroid, it's like, why are you playing with your health? You can't just piece together stuff that you've learned from 100 people and put it together. And it's not how it works. Come on now. Come on now. Okay? So what actually does work when it comes to ridding your body of fibroids, when it comes to fibroid elimination? And I told you guys, it's not just about shrinking fibroids, it's about getting rid of fibroids. Yeah, they have to shrink first, but we want to get rid of them. We don't want fibroids to be there. I don't want my fibroid just to go from 5 centimeters to 2 centimeters. I want it gone. I want it gone, because if it's 2 centimeters, it still has the propensity to grow and multiply. You should want it gone. Okay, so you have to look at what actually works. Is you approaching this like, oh, it's a full body approach. It's a whole body approach. You understanding that, no, it's not just my uterus. It's my liver. It's my gut. It's my adrenals, right? My adrenal glands. It's my nervous system. All of these things matter when I have fibroids, right? My hormones. It's not just, I have to support these systems in my body. Then you have to address your hormones. And in the correct way. You can't just go straight to estrogen. You have to first focus on those cortisol levels. So the stress, that's number one. Insulin, because they work together. These are foundational hormones. Before the sex hormones can be affected, it can't unless you address the cortisol and insulin. So before you got, your estrogen is higher, whether it's high or low, before you have estrogen dominance, it was because the cortisol or the insulin or both was disrupted, was dysregulated. Hopefully you guys are following me. Okay, so it's important. You have to understand how to heal your hormones. I'm talking about that in the 5-day live course, by the way, how to heal your hormones. Another thing too, the diet. A womb healing diet is plants heavy, anti-inflammatory, because if you have fibroids, we're dealing with lots of inflammation in the body. You have to remove the foods that actually feed fibroids. I'm sorry, that's gonna be hard for some of you guys, but you have to. You have to remove. You cannot eat it if you're trying to get rid of fibroids and trying not to grow them back. You cannot eat a diet that actually feeds them. You can't. So the way you fuel your body has to be different. It has to be. You have to eat a diet you have to eat to live, not live to eat. Not live to eat. Not just eat because It tastes good. And the only reason that tastes good to you, or, you know, because it has a bunch of preservatives and additives and all these chemicals in it. So you have to eat different. You have to eat it. You have to look at food differently. You have to change the way you approach food. Okay. Another thing too is that you do have to calm the nervous system down. Your body cannot heal in survival mode. It cannot heal in stress. It cannot heal if you're miserable. You have to learn how to regulate and calm your nervous system. That's a must, right? You have to shift your body into a parasympathetic state, parasympathetic mode. Without that, it can't heal. And yeah, we know that, you know, life is not perfect. Stress will happen, but you have to learn how to manage it better. Okay, you have to learn how to manage it better. Okay, you also do have to start to release a lot of this emotional and emotions that you suppressed, right? This stagnate, because this stagnation, these things that you suppressed become stagnation in the body, right? So the womb holds on to more than just fibroids. It also holds on to, on the energetic level, emotions like, you know, like I said, child trauma and sexual abuse and all of this stuff that, you know, heartbreaks and anger and grief. So if we have not like dealt with these things, they're still there. They're still buried. These things are buried. And the body keeps score. It doesn't go away. The body will keep score, okay? So also too, this has to be a lifestyle, ladies. It has to be a lifestyle. You can't just do this for 2 weeks and think, oh, I'm gonna get rid of the fibroids, and this is how we approach healing, which you gotta stop. You have to stop approaching healing like, oh, I just do one thing and that's it. It's not gonna, no. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to be committed to changing your lifestyle. If not, the fibroids will grow right back. And I told you guys, if you guys watched my how I eliminated an 8 centimeter fibroid, which I have on YouTube, if you look at my live stream section, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, what are you doing? Just click the link in my bio and subscribe. I was talking about, I still practice those things today, the things that I did on my healing journey. I didn't just do them for 2 weeks and that's it. No, I didn't just do them until I got rid of the fibroid and that's it. No, because guess what? If I would have done that, I would have regrew another fibroid, and I was not going to do that. Because if you know my story, I did not just have fibroids once. I had it twice. That was way too much for me. After I got rid of them, that was for good. That was for good. Okay? So, it's important that you understand that. So you can't just do something for 2 weeks and expect miracles. No, you have to be consistent. You have to be disciplined. You have to change your outlook. That's why I said it's deeper than just you just taking a tea, drinking a tea, or just taking meat out of your diet. You gotta change your entire lifestyle. I need y'all to understand that, okay? You have to have a clear protocol as well. If you're really serious about not having fibroids grow back, if you're really serious about getting to the root cause of the problem, there has to be some type of protocol. It can't just be, I'm just out here winging it and throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what works. No. You wouldn't do that in any other area of your life, so you should not do that with your health. You would not try to wing any other area of your life. So why would you do that with your health? Your uterine health. That should be, your uterus is very, like, we don't hold in regard our womb and how sacred it is. And that's a problem for me. We don't. And we're, you know, it's because, especially in the States, we're taught not to. And this is why you have women that are running to get hysterectomies, because there's no regard for the womb. We don't understand how sacred it is. This is why, you know, that could be a whole nother video. That could be a whole nother video, right? Because that, again, leads to women not valuing themselves, and that is so much more. It's so deep when you really think about it. But anyway, and it's like, it's programming, by the way. It's conditioning. So you got to take your power back. You have to take your power back, right? When you start addressing these things and the root causes, like, your body can finally heal. Your body is a self-healing mechanism. It was built to self-heal. You're the ones that get in the way of it healing. You got to get it out of your way. You have to address the internal conditions so that your body can heal. You're not meant to walk around with fibroids, and you shouldn't settle for that. You shouldn't settle for bad health. And if you have fibroids, your body's not in a healthy state. Your liver is overloaded. Your kidneys are not filtering the way they're supposed to. The lymphatic system, is congested. Your body's not in a healthy state. Your hormones are out of balance. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad, but I'm saying that to, to be real with you so that you do take action, okay? That's really important. So like I mentioned earlier, I had clients that have, I'm talking about got rid of 4 fibroids at a time. I've had clients that got rid of a 6 centimeter fibroid in 3 months. I had a client that got rid of literally she had a large fibroids. Her uterus was so large that she looked like she was 8 to 9 months pregnant. Was able to almost fully dissolve that in a month in my 6-week program by working with me for 6 weeks. I had clients that went from a 7 centimeter fibroids to shrinking them up to 3 centimeters in 2 months. Like, I've had crazy testimonies. I've had clients that have had fibroids, adenomyosis, endometriosis, and was able to fully reverse endometriosis, adenomyosis, and significantly shrink her fibroids within, and get rid of uterine adhesions from past surgery, okay? Because guess what? I told you guys these surgeries cause uterine adhesions, cause uterine scarring. Was able to get rid of that. Was able to get rid of her, and what are they called? Endomyomas, the blood-filled cyst. Was able to get all of that within 6 months of working with me. Within 6 months of working with me. Somebody asked how? By getting to the root cause of the problem and having a clear plan and protocol. Okay? So I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for years. I've been helping women get rid of fibroids for years. So for those of you that think it's not possible, your body can't heal, that's not the truth. It's not. I've had situations that looked like it was so bad, but they were able to heal. I'm talking about women that were bleeding for 6 months at a time. Like, if you've been following me, you know my testimonials. If you've been following me, right? And if you haven't, you need to look them up, whether it's on my TikTok page, it's on the link in my bio, whatever. Okay, so it's important for you to understand and know that. Now, so if you are wanting to learn how to get rid of fibroids, we have a 5-day live course coming up on the 23rd. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks through the 27th. I'll be teaching you on Zoom for 5 days on how to get rid of your fibroids. Every single day will be one day will be the first day will be the hormones. It'll be 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom from Monday through Friday. We'll be focusing on the hormones and how to heal your hormones. And the second one the second day is the diet and how to eat a womb healing diet, what you need to get rid of, how to actually do it. The third day we're gonna be focusing on your lifestyle, because that's important, how to have a lifestyle that supports you getting rid of fibroids. Because if you have a good diet and your lifestyle is trash, it's not going to happen. Then we're going to focus on the emotional root causes and how to release the suppressed energy and all of this stuff in the womb area. And then Friday's going to be the full outline of how to get rid of fibroids. The full outline. And you get the replays. For those that are watching, you get the replays. So you can have access to that for the rest of the lifetime, access to the replays. So let's say you missed a day. You have the replays. If you register, it's only $297. I won't be doing this again. So you may want to register. The link is in my bio. Okay. And we also have if you want to work with me for one-on-one for 2 months, we have the 2-month intensive. And if you're interested in that, the 2-month intensive inside of our Detoxify Your Womb program, which is the highest level to work with me. If you're interested in that, we're accepting clients now. It starts March 1st. And you turn in your deposit of $997 before the 15th of this month. And then the next payment is not due till March 20th. Okay? So that's for the 2-month intensive. Okay? Does anybody have any questions before we go? Any questions before we go? Okay? Again, like I said earlier, the truth about fibroid elimination, you can get rid of your fibroids. You gotta get to the root cause of the problem. You have to address what actually caused the fibroids to develop. There's a reason why your body developed tumors. You have to actually address that. You can't bypass that part and think you're gonna just get rid of fibroids. It's not gonna happen. Or you're just gonna get them again. Okay? So I thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Sam1, for all of your likes. I appreciate that so much. And for all those that liked and shared, I appreciate you. If you're watching from YouTube, I appreciate you for being a subscriber, liking the video. Like the video if you haven't already. Thumbs up. And if you're watching from TikTok, be sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. And be sure to watch my video about how I eliminated an 8-centimeter fibroid. All right? Y'all have a good day. And, this is Super Bowl Sunday. Y'all have fun. All right, don't drink at all, actually. If you have fibroids, you should not be drinking at all. That's a whole nother conversation. All right, bye. Bye, TikTok. Bye, YouTube.